Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and we're specifically going to talk about how Hollywood may end up saving Dungeons & Dragons from post-alignment Dungeons & Dragons state. So if you're listening to me, I'm losing sleep over post-alignment D&D. I see it as a slavering beast that is coming for the maw, for the throat of Dungeons & Dragons. Post-alignment Dungeons & Dragons is when they remove alignment from the game. And the reason why I'm afraid of it is I think they won't just come for post-alignment. I think they'll come for traditional human elf or human elf dwarf structure that Tolkien established. They'll come for all faith-based heroes, paladins, clerics. And I think it's going to be, it will suck. Now, I want to be clear, because a lot of people are like, XYZ company isn't doing the thing I want, and they're going to go out of business. And I think it's an easy, stupid, ridiculous, unthoughtful approach, right? Because more and more I'm seeing, I just watched, Masters of the Universe Revelation. They turn, the intellectual property owners turn the IP over to someone who had a passionate disdain for the source material, and I don't think that's going to end He-Man. Right, so I don't go for this easy. They're not doing what I like, and it's all going to turn tears and flames for them. It's going to ruin the property, and nobody's going to buy it. Right, that is not true. Right, like you could definitely, a lot of these mega IPs, a lot of these mega IPs are so powerful that you could do a lot to them, and they are incredibly resilient. Right, so I don't think that post-alignment Dungeons & Dragons will mean the end of Dungeons & Dragons. I think what it'll mean, it'll suck a lot of joy. It'll suck a lot of utility. It'll suck a lot of freedom out of the game, and it's going to be bad. I just really think it's not going to be a great situation. It's going to be really bad overall, right? But I saw something recently that tells me, and the reason we're going to get post-alignment Dungeons & Dragons is Hollywood values. It is, so here's the connection. I believe that the majority of the 5e design team, it's a product out of Seattle. They are all coastal elites, right? And that means they're woke, they're rich, or not rich. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, actually, more I think about it, they got high education, high money, high woke, right? So basically, that team, they are fully signed on to Hollywood values. Hollywood has 5 main values. Environmentalism is absolutely one of them. They're like electric cars, hummus, wear Birkenstocks, done, right? Recycle, the whole nine, right? And it's in every movie, every movie possible. Only the villains don't recycle. The villains don't drive an electric car. Your hero recycles and drives an electric car, right? And that's a Hollywood value, and they got 5 of them, right? And the thing is, I think that the Dungeons & Dragons 5e team, they don't have D&D values. They have fully outsourced all their values to Hollywood values. They follow Hollywood. So, and I have zero confidence that the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition design team will do anything that does not go 100% with the Hollywood value playbook, right? There's not going to be any unique thought on the D&D 5e side as far as what values D&D will have. They are Hollywood values, right? But there's something that just happened that gave me a lot of hope, right? And that is Disney's Jungle Cruise. Spoilers for Disney's Jungle Cruise. Okay, so I watched Disney Jungle Cruise. First of all, fantastic movie. Go see it. 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I had a blast. I saw it literally the moment it opened, right? It was 7 p.m. on a Thursday night, right? In theaters, right? And it was fantastic. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Emily Blunt, right? But it did something that shocked me. It put a hard reject on it. It had a dyed-in-the-wool, woke stamp on the forehead character, right? In the movie. Fully woke character in the movie do a hard reject on 2 standing Hollywood values. And this is in a Disney plot. This is in a Disney movie, right? With Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Emily Blunt, who is like a woke queen, right? So she is a woke actress. Her character could not have been more woke, right? Like, if you tried, you couldn't have written her more woke, right? So this is a woke actress in a woke movie playing a woke character coming out from the most woke movie studio on the planet, right? And what her character did, her archaeologist, Emily Blunt's archaeologist character, what she did was she said, so basically, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is in the movie, his character. He is a 400-year-old conquistador, okay? And he gets involved with Emily Blunt, the archaeologist, right? And Emily Blunt, the archaeologist, is like, I really like you. There's a relationship growing here. And then Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, shipboat captain, says, hey, don't get attached. I'm going to die. I've been living 400 years and I'm super bored, right? Because if you live over 100 years, you see the same stuff. It gets boring. Nothing worth living for, right? And I'm going to choose my death. And as soon as this adventure is over, I'm going to die. And I'm going to choose to die, right? Hollywood value. You choose when you die, right? So 2 Hollywood values. First of all, you choose when you die. You choose when you die. You choose when you die. Died in the wool. Long time. 10, 20-year Hollywood value, right? It's in lots of movies. It does not change, right? And then the other one is, vampire life is boring, right? If I have to, Hollywood value, if I have to live over 100 years old, I won't know what to do with myself. I'll just be bored and I should die, right? And those two are linked, right? Because, once you do the same things over and over again, and, I don't know where that second one comes from. This movie hard rejected both, right? And basically, Emily Blunt, archaeologist, said to Dwayne Johnson, steamboat captain, she's like, I'm enough. I'm enough for you to have a new world, right? Me being in your life, I can remove you from this, Brazilian area where you've been for a while. We could just go to London, and then you and I will create a new world together. I can be world enough for you. And I'm telling you now, you don't choose when you die. My desire for you to live fully subjugates your desire to die. And guess what? So as soon as I'm like, oh, well, they had the woke character say that. There's no way that they're going to get away with this in the movie. That's exactly what happens, right? Super woke. Emily Blunt, archaeologist, is like, I want you to live, so your desire to die is subjugated. And that's exactly what happens. His desire to die is subjugated, and the movie ends with him in London smooching her up, right? Like, there you go. Done, right? And I was like, holy crap, did this super woke, movie from the super wokest studio with one of the super wokest actresses alive today, that has a burgeoning career with a super woke, right, male lead, and they hard rejected You Choose When You Die, and they hard rejected that life after 100 is boring. I couldn't believe it. So where does that help us for Dungeons & Dragons? Well, the place where that helps us for Dungeons & Dragons is that says, hey, check it out. Hollywood gets bored of their own values. And also, Hollywood will change its values if they are bored with their values, or if them spouting their values over and 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 over, right? They're really like, oh crap, we won so hard, we're repeating the same, we sound like a broken record, right? So if we don't switch it up and switch some of our values and 180 them, we are going to be boring. And Hollywood cannot afford to be boring. They can't afford it from the cultural cost. They can't afford it from the money cost. And the culture is higher, in my opinion, than the money. They cannot be boring. So I have hope now because Hollywood is starting to reject their values. So if we can simply get Hollywood to reject, or if we get fortunate and Hollywood's like, yeah, the whole, non-moralism thing, we've said it a million times, let's 180 it, right? Then post-alignment Dungeons & Dragons may never happen. And the reason why is if Hollywood changes it, the D&D 5th edition team will change it. That's my opinion. What do you think? Could Hollywood be the ones that save us from post-alignment Dungeons and Dragons. I think it very well could be. I think Hollywood, because they're like, oh man, we're just saying the same crap in every film and this is getting boring, right? Will switch the values, and then lockstep, 5e design team will just accept their new values from their Hollywood, value machine that gives them their values, right? I think that's how we may be saved. I'd say the probability of this is 33% that we may never see a post-alignment Dungeons & Dragons, simply because the Hollywood is not willing to remain boring. And boy, are they boring when it comes to Hollywood values. But I'm shocked they're starting to see it and they're starting to change it. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what you think will happen next with Hollywood values and the lockstep movement of the 5e design team with Hollywood values. Love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.